I started in 2006 as a home brewer, and I quickly got the brewing bug. And really quick, I knew I wanted to do this the rest of my life, so I just started dedicating myself to reading every book I can on brewing, brewing batch after batch, week after week. By the time I actually went to school for brewing, I probably brewed 200 homebrew batches, if not more. And then after that, I got a job with Tioga Sequoia Brewing Company as their first assistant brewer and their quality control manager. And I was there for a good year and a half, and I just decided that it was my time to. I was at a point where I think I needed to go off on my own. I had my own recipes, my own style of brewing, and I wanted to express that. I knew I wanted something a little bit different than what everybody else is doing around here, because I wanted to stand out a little bit. A lot of other breweries will do things like, name things after, local things and stuff like that. And that's awesome. We have a couple beers that are named after local stuff, but we wanted to kind of separate ourselves from that, and we didn't want to step on any toes either. And I had a kind of image in my head of I wanted something a little bit more edgier and a little bit darker. I wanted something that matched with the way the styles I was brewing. One day I was just getting really frustrated. 6 months in, I started to pick the name, and I was watching the History Channel one day, and there was a thing on there about King Arthur, and I was barely paying attention to it. It's kind of like one of those things you just had on in the background. And the name Pendragon came up, and I'm like, Pendragon, that is a rad name. I like that. And I'm like, I think I could make a brewery around that, because there's a lot to go with Pendragon. It's not just King Arthur. It's like all the Knights of the Round Table and all the ancillary characters involved too.
Yeah.
There's naming for days on that. You can name beer after beer for years and still not run out of names with the Arthurian characters. And then I'm like, well, why don't we make it the House of Pendragon? So like a Royal House of Pendragon. And so I started doing that, and I remember I was filling out the paperwork to do the DBA as doing business as, and I realized that like right that second that if you took if you abbreviated House of Pendragon, it's spelled hop, and I'm like, oh my god, it was meant to be. Everybody thought it was on purpose. I know there's probably people to this day that still think I'm lying about that, but no, it was completely by accident, and it was a delightful accident. So. It's been a whirlwind. It's been a lot of stress, a lot of ups and downs, but we always just kept on going up and up and up. It's not easy running a brewery. Anybody who thinks it is, they think that if they get an idea, it's like, you brew beer, then all of a sudden you got a handful of money. It doesn't work that way. It's a lot of work. Brewing's a lot of work. Running a business is a lot of work. It's not always fun, but it's very rewarding in the end. Yeah. At least I can still say I wake up every morning and I have to go brew beer. but it's a lot of work. But it's starting to pay off now. Now that we've obviously we've been in business for 3 years. We started out with our small brewery, brewing 1 barrel batches, which is 31 gallons at a time, and we just recently opened up about 3 months ago. We just started going into production at our new brewery across the street from our original brewery, which now we have a 15-barrel system and 15 and 30-barrel tanks to match it. You're never going to have enough beer. There was times when we opened up this tasting room for twice. We had to close down for a week because we just completely ran out of beer. And then when we would get beer back, it'd be like maybe 2 styles of beer on tap, and I felt so bad. Our customers would come in and there would only be 2 beers on tap, but they seemed happy. They still bought it, They were still happy with it. But it's you always every brewer will tell you when they first started they underestimated the amount of space they needed and the equipment size that they started with. They should have always went one size bigger, or they should have went and spent a little more money and got that extra 1,000 square feet or something along those lines. But every brewer will tell you the same exact thing. Oh yeah, it is. What we've done in the last 8 months to kind of keep it interesting for me is we've started coming out with a lot of one-off beers. And what that's allowed us to do is, every week there's a one-off beer that comes out that's never come out before. and that allows me to have that creative side to keep playing and keep coming up with new cool recipes. Because if you keep brewing the same things over and over again, it just becomes boring. Because craft brewers, they want to play, that they want to express themselves. They want to. It'd be like a painter painting the same copy over and over again. It gets boring. Yeah, we could keep pumping out Lancelot or Excalibur. Yeah, that's great, but we want to play and do some other things. So we've been doing a lot of one-offs, and we actually have a ton of new beers coming out over the next 3 months. So it's going to keep it pretty exciting.